Okay,
Yeah, sorry.
it's 9 AM. We can start our meeting this morning. I am sitting in for Burke, who is out for this meeting. Hopefully back for the next one. In any event, meeting is called to order. Maybe have the roll call, please.
Rory, Hampson, Icola,
Here.
Relly, here, Fitzgerald,
Here.
Close.
Here.
Marvel, here, Stillman, here, Bentley,
Here.
Hampson, Epted,
Here.
Fuller. Here, he's here.
Wake him up, he's here.
Got your hearing aids in?
He's working on that.
Just putting them in.
Looking to see if we have an approval on the report for the April 11th meeting. Everyone had a chance to look it over?
Approved.
Approve.
Yeah, look good.
Second, all in favor? Dissent? Okay, that proves that meeting is approved. The chair's report, Burke had not left me anything to report on, but I will leave some comments from conversation I had with him for our men's club board. Any correspondence or announcements? Not having any.
I can add that I heard from both schools, both Bentley and Akalani's that used the golf course this spring. Both schools were extremely, thankful for being able to use the facility this spring. They'll probably, thank you, probably write me, letters like they've done before, but they expressed their being so grateful to be able to use the facility, and it was a good spring for both programs. And I have gotten several letters, which I usually get in the spring, from upcoming events happening in the community for some gift certificates. I usually do respond with those if they're within Walnut Creek or Lafayette, and I've written out a few of those so that they can have those for raising funds for their individual events. So other than that, no other correspondence at this time.
Well, the two schools, Aquilanis and what?
Bentley. Bentley's a small private school that's in Lafayette that we've helped now for, probably 7 or 8 years now. They do not have a girls program at this point. It's a small school. They only have a boys, so they come out once a week. Aquilanis comes out twice a week. Bentley comes out once a week, and it's nice to try. They have nowhere else to go to play, so you give them a little access. Yeah.
I could add to that, I did get some correspondence, which reminded me, from the First Tee Foundation, Contra Costa, and, they thanked us very much also for the event we had, last Saturday here. We look forward to coming in the future. Okay. That's that. Next item is residents forum. Do we have any residents looking to speak? We don't see anything here.
Your hand up or anything.
Okay, move on. GRF report, Ted.
Hey, just a few things. The board has 3 new members on it now. Adrian Byron, Janet Sheldon, and Susan Hildreth are new board members for the Rossmore Walnut Creek Board. And as far as the golf course, the bridges it's getting closer. There's still, there's still a lot of different agencies that have to look at that. Looks like the bridge is going to be a prefab bridge this is the way they're leaning to go over the creek. And that's on Creekside on 6 and the crossover to 7 is where the 2 bridges that they're looking at replacing right now. The pond liner is still in research. If it comes to what we can work on, it will be this winter. I would guess the first couple of months of this, like January, February of 26. And if not, it's going to be put off for another year because that's the best time to do it, because it rain. I don't know how long it's going to be down. There still is talk about design and stuff, whether it's going to go deeper or what they're going to do with it. There's a filter is on our pumping station that is just between the first hole on Creekside and the driving range. There's 3 big pumps in there. The pumps are been replaced, but they found out that the filter needed some issues, so they're getting some parts on that. And that should be done really quick on the filter piece of it. Then we should be good to go for many years on that one. Pickleball has gone out to permits. There is a permitting process for the whole pickleball course, a project, and then there's a separate permitting for the water line. And not permitting, engineering we're working on for the water line. And when it actually comes down to getting started, we're probably a couple of months away, still talking about the whole thing. But when it gets started talking about it, there'll be a timing on, I'll have a better timing on the first part of that, which is the replacing of the water line. And that's about all I have.
Any comments? Questions? Okay, thank you, Ted. We'll go to the club reports, Robin? 18ers?
Okay, yesterday morning I had a membership count of 130. At the end of the day, it was up to 131. They just keep showing up.
Better that way than the other.
I think that's the most memorable that, at least since I've been, anyway. Our classic tournament started yesterday. It's 2 days and we'll complete that next Thursday. Also, the registration for the invitational, I think sold out almost immediately. We have a sign up of 120 members. They were only expecting, what, 110? Mark, I think something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what the status is on that. But can we accommodate that many?
We can.
We can.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know it was unexpected because they weren't exactly prepared for that.
It's
But,
gonna be busy.
anyway, that's all I have to report. Is there some questions? Get to you later on my other thing.
Okay. Any questions for Robin? Okay, moving on. For the Niners.
Okay.
Ready?
The Niners, membership is still at 160. And, this next week, we're going to start, we're hosting team play. And otherwise, everything's going on as normal with lots of golfing. That's it.
There, any good questions there? All right, moving on to the men's club. Men's club has a report somewhere, right? All right, the men's club reports that our membership is now at 307. Which includes the resident guests and golf shop members. 307 as of this past week. The golf schedule continues with our home and away events. This month we'll visit Oakhurst on May 22nd, and we will host Orinda and San Jose country clubs here on May 28th. San Jose seems to be a new club coming in for us. So we're growing our open aways. On the 23rd, we'll hold our popular twilight and dinner event. And then on just going back onto the 10th of May, we also hosted 16 boys and girls from the first tee of Contra Costa. Annual 9-hole. In addition to the kids, we had 10 men's club members who participated, and we also hosted over 20 parents and first tee coaches. We served a luncheon right here in this room, and the kids went out and played 9 holes of golf. And then finally, report that I wanted to mention here is that the RMG board has been hearing from numerous members concerning the sign that was placed at the rear of the Dollar Ranch picnic area that prohibits golf carts from proceeding past a certain point. The area has always been used by the golfers to bring their carts into the area when there may be an event or a picnic after golf. The new parking signs that were placed in that same area are a good addition, but the carts are still not able to go further due to the no golf cart beyond this point sign. What we're asking is that the decision to place this sign be rescinded and allow carts to park within the picnic grounds as we always have. It seems that, we use that area quite often, especially after Saturdays with snafu in the summer or in the good weather times, and just throughout the year. It's been something that we've always been able to do. I think the original intent was, when the comments originally came up, was that we wanted to prohibit or thought about prohibiting cars from entering from the parking area on the dollar side into that area, because pedestrians walk through that, on that walkway, but not to necessarily prohibit carts removed altogether from the picnic area. Since we did say that we'll allow them to come around the back, which is the case. So they're coming around the back, but then they can't go any further. So,
And do you want me to?
yes, please,
Yeah.
that's the comment.
So I did meet with Tom Cashin on where we are with that and reviewed it. And actually the signs are what they were looking to do, keep them out of where the tables and stage area are and the grass area. So right now there is a sign on the parking lot side, we'll call it, as you come down the street there, that prohibits you from going into that path, which was being ruined by the golf carts, and keep them off the grass. And then there's another one around the back as you enter where the tables are, but there is cart parking past the bathroom. So you come around that area, which is fine by the bathrooms, come up and you can park in the quite large area for cart parking, but they do not want you to go further because the number of carts that go in and out of there can damage areas around. They feel the gravel and stuff like that. So at the moment, let's try it and see how we do, which means you can park there and carry your stuff to the tables. But it's not just the clubs, it's all the other vehicles and things, other non-golf clubs that use vehicles in there. They're really trying to preserve that area. So I said, Tom, we'll try this and see how it goes. So let's do that for a little bit. And if we need to adjust it, let's just try it and go from there. But that was the conversation I had with them. And Pat, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you. There's been a lot going on the last couple of weeks, but that's the conversation I did have with them.
Well, thank you for that, Mark. We have been trying it, and again, as I said, the club has been getting a lot of pushback regarding that particular issue. Wanted to know why we've done this all for years, and there's never been a problem. So,
Well, let's try it out.
Is there any tables in that gravel area where the carts would be parking? I mean, do they have to
Yeah.
carry in, there's tables up there where they could park and use tables too?
no,
What do you mean, where they park? No,
Yeah,
no, the
because there
parking
used
is,
to be tables up underneath the oak tree and stuff a
no,
long time ago.
that's been cleared out.
Okay.
The closest tables are on the other side of the
Stage.
edge area there, heading into the picnic area.
Mhm.
Then the tables begin.
Mhm.
So you have to carry whatever you have into there. That's not a far place to go, but sometimes the events are, we have lots of people, lots of carts. Outgrow that parking area and no place to go. So, okay, we're gonna try it for a while, and the report I'll send back to them. However, I'd like to say I don't want to say on notice, but asking that we take a look at that thing and.
let's give it a try for, let's, between all of us here reporting to clubs, let's give it a 3-month trial. Okay, I think that's fair. And if we still have concerns with that, somebody put it on their docket and I'll bring it back up to Tom at that time. But let's see how we really do in adjusting. If there's something we can do as far as helping people, can we put something back there to help? If you have product or things you need to move, maybe we can put something back there. I know they have dollies and things like that if it really becomes a problem moving, but I know from where the cart parking is to the tables, it can't be more than 50 feet to those first tables. It's not very far, but if we need to make adjustments, maybe we could. And again, let's give it 3 months, and if we feel like it's still a problem, I'll be happy to bring it up again.
Thank you for that, Mark. Okay, that's the men's club report. Moving on, Happy Hackers.
Thank you. Happy Hackers is at 135 members and 135, and we have our monthly scramble and our second social Saturday. And last I heard it wasn't actually full. We had 68. I don't know, what's the max? I can't.
72 would be,
Yeah,
so it's just a little under, yeah.
Yeah. We are ending the, as of the next scramble, we are ending the standby list. Will not be a standby list anymore. We've had too much trouble with that. And, the other thing is, the standby people aren't done by the time the scramble starts, so that's created a problem.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so we just ending it, it's gonna be 72 and that's it. And then, that's it, that's all I got.
Okay. Thank you, Kurt. Moving on to staff reports. Mark?
All right, I just realized I'm looking at all my reports in front of me that I don't have Blake, so I may have to borrow one from somebody. I thought I had a copy here in my file, but I may not. Thank you, Pat.
I have it up on my computer.
Thanks. Thank you. Okay, so let's go over the golf management report first. Can I give you some details there? And we continue to see excellent play on both courses. April was another outstanding month with 6,714 rounds played. For the year, we've done 21,472 compared to last year's 18,194. This represents an 18% increase in rounds played. That also then comes over to affect fees, of course, and we've seen missing a zero there, but $798,000 been collected, up substantially from the 684 from last year. I've been using this lately as a comparison. I think in the golf part of Rossmore, we've created a monster. I think it's a combination of where the courses are today versus where they were even 5 years ago. I think the participation from the clubs has been excellent. I think what we provide in the golf shop, as far as a welcoming atmosphere to people that are brand new or people who have been here for a long time. So I give my staff props for inviting everyone in to use the facility and being positive. I think people, it's no longer a secret outside the gate. Certainly the resident sponsored guest sales this year and last year, and then just guests in general. I ask people when they come in, they go, "Oh, we love Rossmore as guests." So golf wise, I really feel good about where the facility is. And we see that in the numbers every month. Right now, I just did a quick total this morning, for the first 15 days in May, we've done 3,648 rounds. If we double that by the end of the month, with no reason to not think we won't, that'll be more rounds than we've done in last May. So every month, we're just doing more. And we're creating that atmosphere, whether it's not only in rounds, but it's what we're providing with the demo day today, our 5th one in 5 weeks. Sales are up. So I'm very proud of what we've been able to provide and do as far as the numbers. The golf shop business also has been very good. Increases in golf ball sales, club sales, menswear sales, rental carts, lessons, and driving range are all up. Golf shop sales are over $159,000 compared to $121,000 same period in 2024, an increase of 26.7%. We have had a number of issues with equipment both on the course and the driving range. Blake's report will talk about that a little bit more. We've had several vehicles down in mowers. It has been, you may have seen times when, oh wow, something's not cut as low as you would normally see it. I think this week we've recovered a bit. If you were out there the last couple of days, it's great. But there were times when tees were not looking good or fairway or roughs we had mowers going down. And if you don't have a mower, you really can't cut. So that's the bottom line. The other problem is manpower. We've had problems there, which we'll talk about later, but when those are around and we have the manpower and we have the machinery, the golf course looks really good and is in nice shape. The search continues for an assistant superintendent. We have held interviews. We have not found the fit we're most happy with. We have potential candidates, but we're looking for that correct person. We've talked about this in meetings about, what are we willing to either give up or look at? And we're just willing to wait right now. There isn't an emergency for the position. We want somebody, but it's got to be a really good fit. We have someone who have a Zoom, I believe, the first of next week, where a superintendent is relocating out to the Bay Area. And so that's a possibility. So it's an ongoing process, but I don't have a name at this point. So we're working on it. We are at a time of year where the golf shop and golf course are put a lot of pressure on the staff. We are extremely busy in there. So if we don't get to you right away with a message or even the counter for waiting a little bit longer, I apologize, but we are moving as fast as we can. We do have a lot of things coming up. Memorial Day is just around the corner, unbelievably. And we have several Mondays. I have an outside event this Monday, then Memorial Day, and then 3 in a row outside events, first 3 Mondays in June, along with the Women's Invitational, the Men's Invitational, and other events. So this is high season for us between now and the end of June and into the first part of July. Are quite frankly pretty crazy, but we're doing the best we can. On top of this, Blake has been out. He's been on leave for going on 2 weeks now. His wife needed to have surgery and he's been tending to her and taking care of her. So I'm on the phone with him almost daily, going over things that need to get done. And the staff out on the golf course has stepped up, his foreman, and done a nice job at his place. But of course, there's nobody like Blake. So I kind of have to relay what's going on and then we try and make sure we stay on the ball. But hopefully he's going to be here tomorrow. His daughter's going to watch his wife while she recovers. And then hopefully he'll be back sometime late next week as she gets better. But it's a bit tough on him because if you know Blake, he says he's cleaned the toilet every day because he's got nothing else to do. He's running around the house. He's looking for things. You ever do that situation? He's looking for things to do. He's like, so he's kind of running around in circles at home, wanting to get back to work. So we'll see what happens there. I'm sure he'll try and get back as soon as he can. As far as the reports, I think I went over those, but if you have any questions on either the rounds, receipts for the golf shop business, feel free to ask me now before I go on to Blake's report. Anything else I can help you with there? Yes, Lauren.
Mark, is there anything that can be done about that pool of water on number 2 in the valley that goes down there? It's such a mud mess and couldn't there be a drain put in there or something?
So number 2 on Creekside, and are you talking about by the bunker there?
By the tree.
Like the oak tree,
By the oak tree?
it goes like this and there's water across the path and it's.
Yeah, that probably is a drain situation that needs to be put in there. Yeah. That's something I can bring up. I will do that. As soon as I find my pen here. There it is. Okay, I'll make a note and mention it to Blake tomorrow.
That's the one, Lori, that's not only cooling, but it's spreading it over to the area where you park on number 3. Where you go to the zone.
No, this is like 150 out. Or no, 100 yards out.
Oh, I see. Yeah, there's a dip there. You have the same issue, then as you make as you park your cart and you come around towards the 3rd tee box, that's always constantly wet too in mud. That area at the 3rd tee box parking area gets mud filled up.
We'll look at those, Okay. Anything else as far as my report? No, we're good. Okay, let's move on then to Blake's report. Spring aeration is complete. It's always nice to say that. that is, it's a lot of work to get done this year, especially because we did a lot more than we normally do. We got to most of the fairways, roughs, green surrounds. We did some more areas than we just haven't had time with the equipment, but we did them this year and it was a lot more work. So we've done some good work there. It was necessary to open up the East Bay mud valve, this last month. The valve opens automatically when the lake level drops to a certain point. I would probably add on the lake issue as far as getting that repaired. I probably would go to the board here, depending on how this moves forward, on doing some temporary work this fall, even if we don't get the main work done. We need to do some patching at the far end, regardless of whenever we get to rebuilding the lake. It is a major concern, and right now the lake level is generally lower than we want to keep it, because if we get it higher, it leaks. And if we did some minor repairs at the end, it might help us keep the lake level up to where it'd be a better position. So we may talk about that for the board at a later time for, great progress made on gopher and mole population. I was out there yesterday and noticed a few of the tees on the dollar, 4, 5, 6 have traps in them. They come up from, it's not us, it's them, from the mutuals. I'm just kidding. But they do come from all over. And so we're getting more of them and getting rid of those guys, which is good, so they don't tear up the golf course. Here's the information on the mowing. It was necessary to use 2 smaller mowers instead of our large area mower, and you can imagine how much slower that progress is when you're using a smaller mower versus the larger gang mowers. They were down because of parts and waiting for service. They are getting better there. We also, was necessary to put a large leaf blower and perimeter rough mower out of service prematurely. So our list, unfortunately, is growing for 2026 when we go to equipment. And hopefully the board, we can prepare them for that and remind them that that's how we keep the golf course in good shape and get the fees we get. It's because it's in good shape. You have to have equipment for that. So we may have to stress that with the board in the coming budget cycle as we go to bat for equipment we need, because some things are just wearing out a little quicker than we anticipated. We're in the process of applying a fertilizer to both golf courses that also has a selective herbicide that reduces broadleaf weed. This is nothing new. We do this every year, and it's something we do this time of year. It helps keep the golf course in nice shape. And for those who are interested, we have ordered an additional 6 ball washers to be installed as soon as they arrive. So we'll increase the number of ball washers on the golf course and look to add those so that we'll probably fill those out later on, but we'll have a lot more on the course when we get there. I think that's all I have there. Anything else? Yes.
One point, is there a reason why we keep the aprons and the approaches to the greens high? The grass is high. In other words, if you hit a ball and it goes right towards the green, there's a good chance that it's going to stop right before it gets caught up in real thick grass, wet grass. Wetness I can understand is runoff from the greens, but the heaviness of that grass area there, is it possible to get those down a little lower?
So, if we're talking about generally, I know the aprons get cut, but I think you're probably talking about more like the Bermuda that was put in throughout the 18-hole golf course about 2 years ago. And really, we had so many areas that were not able to sustain grass. We decided to go with the Bermuda. During the winter, it goes dormant. So a lot of it turns brown. And as it turns brown, it gets a little mushy during the winter. So the ball, sometimes during the winter, because it's off. Now it's green, which it does for the golf season. But the Bermuda, a couple things. One, it grows a little thicker generally, and it's also a little, I would call it, it stops the ball a little quicker, just because it's Bermuda. So you won't get as much roll up on that grass as you would the other types of grass, bluegrass, stuff like that. It's a little hardier. That's the reason we put it there, because we had so much wear on those areas that the other grasses just didn't survive. They were dying out. You end up with big dead areas in front. So it's, I don't know if we've quite reached the happy medium, but we have grass now in front of every green. That's the good news. That's, you can hit a shot off it, which is better, I think, than dirt. If we went back to, everybody remember what example would be 15, 15, just a few years ago, there was no grass in front of 13 during summer. It would just be, dirt areas out in front of 13 or 3 or 4. 4 oftentimes, we'd lose a lot of grass in the front, it'd just be dirt. So, it's a trade-off. We're putting in a grass that's a little hardier, a little stingier. But you may not get that roll up that you're necessarily looking for. So I don't know what to tell you, Pat. We're
Hit it harder.
Get it on.
Land on the green and forget about the.
just playing as far as mowing it lower, I can certainly ask, like, there may be a reason you might be waiting for it to come in, but and letting it get more growth as it's now, like I said, goes from winter to spring. And now, as you can go through the entire golf course, all those areas in front of the greens are nice and lush, where they weren't just 3 months ago because they were dormant. So there's a changeover in the seasons that's different in those areas than anywhere else in the golf course because of the type of grass. I hope that's an answer that makes sense.
Well, it is a lot thicker than you would like it to be. Let me put it that way. It's higher. I mean, especially all the par threes, they are really deep. So even if you're hitting it harder, I mean, I hit an 8-iron on number 16 and it went up there and just it didn't go any further than that, like Velcro. So, just a request, take a look at it, see if there's something maybe even.
Yeah, I can see if you can mow it lower, but I do like the idea of having grass
Absolutely.
out there, and I think it looks better and it plays better. I think, having to take drops off the front of greens is ridiculous, which is where we were for so many years. So it is a trade-off, but I will ask about the cutting frequency.
Also, kudos that the greens seem to be running a little quicker. That
They're picking up speed now that the irrigation's out, and then they'll get, as you know, from now on, they'll get quicker and quicker. They're rolling them.
well, they are.
They're rolling them. They started doing that a couple weeks ago, so you'll see that. And as we go into our big tournaments coming up this season's, a lot of stuff, home homes and invitationals, you'll see more rolling, you'll see more speed until we kind of get them. Our quickest probably in June, July, August, and then, go into fall maintenance again. But this should be our quickest time right now.
They're doing well.
I just wanted to say to Mark, the golf course has been playing really good. But not sure how some of the other things are getting affected in it, like the guest play on the weekend, the numbers that are jumped up 28% over last year. Some of these, the numbers this whole year to date right now for 2025 is amazing all the way through the board. It's a very good looking P&L. And overall, you're ahead of budget by a good chunk, almost 60,000. So very good job. I just wanted to say it's really showing up here, and the course has looked really good this year, better than it has.
Probably best ever.
Yeah, for a long time, for play and everything. It's been looking really good, and I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Ted. Any other questions for Mark? Okay, Chief Marshal.
Yeah, I've been going out the last off and on. I don't have a schedule. I just go out when I feel like it. But what is interesting is in the evening, there's a lot of guests, and I'm really impressed with them. I mean, I can go out here, any of us go out there and watch our own people, not sand their divots. These guys are sanding their divots. They're going around looking at the green and picking up what they can. They're taking care of our course, and they're guests. And they play until 6 or 6:30, 7 o'clock. And they're really good people. I told one guy, I said, I want him on my team. I mean, I don't know how many free with 13, I mean, with 12. But he's sitting back the blue tees and hits it all the way down to the gully. But the other thing is, and this is really for you, Ted, I don't think there is an answer personally. We get walkers starting about 5:30, 4 to 6. And I had a woman Wednesday say, oh, well, yeah, she was on 13 on dollar. She says, oh, no, when I see people up there, I go over to the center with it. And I says, lady, if you have something, nothing to do one day, come over here and sit up there and see where the balls go. You won't be surprised that out of 4 golfers, there'll be at least one over there, and that every time, also coming from me. No, don't you keep them over there in that grass? No, we're not professionals. She says, so your stomach is not really safe? I says, well, the guys right here playing golf, it's not safe. I says, I'm sorry, but it's just not, because we're not professionals, we hit it all over the course. And, but I mean, I don't know what you, that's, you know, probably had 6 walkers Wednesday. Most of them are pretty jolly and say, oh, I didn't realize people were still playing. I don't know if it'd be down the road sometime is to, for you guys to put something in the paper to remember folks, the golf course is open until dark. Tuesday through Sunday, I don't know. But that's basically it. I was astonished at the guests that were out there playing. In the evening.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. I walk my dogs twice a day, in the morning and at night, and even in the morning. When play is going on creek, I walk around Creekside, so I see people walking. You know, I walk near the highway, so I see them walking down there on 7, 8, sometimes all the way deep as 6, walking through the golf course, and I'm thinking, man, I don't know what the answer is. You would think that they would know better. But I'm not sure if it's that or they're just inconsiderate, you know, or they're entitled. I don't know what it is, you know, that is going through people's heads on that, but it always amazes me when I see the people on the course. And especially like, you know, walking up on Stanley Dollar and you look up 18 at 8 o'clock in the morning and 18 and 17 have people walking all over it. Knowing that the golfers will be, you know, even if they take off at 7, they got a leeway, you know? I don't get it why they think that they can do
They
it.
take a shortcut. I've asked enough people and told them not to. Is what they do is they take the shortcut and they go up to 17, cross the green and go up the hill.
I don't know about the shortcut with dogs. I've seen people with dogs.
Well, maybe not, but people walking. There's 2 or 3 of them that do this. And
I'm not sure.
I will talk to Ann Peterson next week and have her put a box either on the front page or something that just really quick. Just a reminder, golf course is open dawn to dusk. Because if I put it in my golf shop, they're not gonna read it in there. You know, you guys might, how many people read our articles? Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's nice to hear. I appreciate that. Hope you enjoy them. But you're the only people really reading the golf shop news. I mean, the average citizen is not gonna read that, but if it's on the front page or something, just a little box, maybe bold type, just a reminder, that's probably all we can do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, the same thing.
People do read letters to the editor though.
Yeah, they do that. That's true.
Yeah, if you're going to do that, may I suggest that you ask her to just make a statement that to avoid serious injury. Let them know that they can get hurt.
I have one addition, maybe that blurb that you put out where walkers are allowed on the course on Monday. Sometimes on Mondays when you have a tournament like you did
Yeah.
last week,
Yeah.
limited it.
Yeah.
Maybe you could do an addition on there. Just say, you know, walkers are not allowed on the course. There's play until 5 or 6 o'clock
Yeah.
at night. It's, you know, it's dangerous to your health.
Yeah, you can do that one of these weeks too. That's good. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, any other issues? No? Okay,
like the greens in front.
Yeah, we were copied.
I'm sorry, I'd like getting off grass, not dirt.
Quickly moving on to, any new business. We have, an item here from Robin regarding, maintenance
From the 18ers, basically.
on the 18th.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and I just mentioned it briefly to Mark yesterday.
You're later anymore.
So I mentioned it briefly to Mark yesterday, so he sort of be blindsided on this, but, this goes back to April, our April board meeting. And the ladies, had made a request that the restrooms on the course were in terrible shoddy condition. They had the East Bay team play coming, guest day at the end of this month, the 29th, and also our invitational. So, I said, okay, I will address the situation, and I sent an email to, I sent that one, let me see, I sent that one to Bobby. And, I'm just gonna backtrack for a minute. In January, I played bridge at the Oak Room twice a week. And that room has been not in very good condition. The carpet's been dirty, the chairs have been soiled, et cetera, et cetera. They took the refrigerator out, it wasn't. So anyway, I addressed Albie again. And I sent a copy, actually, I sent a copy to Deborah with a copy to Jeff also. And, it wasn't just myself, but other members that said maybe it should go to the GRF boards, just so people would be aware of this. Anyway, Deborah sent my message on to Bobby. Anyway, I got good reaction. The carpets got cleaned up, the soiled chairs have been taken away, so he addressed the issue. So going back to, April now, I had sent this to him, and I just assumed that it would be taken care of. I was gone for 2 weeks in May. And I started getting frantic emails about 5 days before the East Bay team play, that the restrooms were in terrible shape. So I dashed off a couple of emails to, Bobby. He responded to me. So Monday, morning, we had our board meeting, and I brought the subject up. Well, I opened a real bag of worms. The restrooms still were in terrible condition. And one of the captains of the East Bay team play went down personally and cleaned the restrooms herself. And I was appalled when I heard that. I thought this should not happen. And so with that, I dashed off another one of my famous emails, and I sent it to Deborah and I sent it to Jeff also. And Jeff acknowledged my email on Wednesday. And his remark was, it's pretty generic. I have a couple of copies here, if anybody wants to see it. But he thanked me for the email. He said, our goal is always to meet expectations and present clean, well-maintained facilities. Because I said, we have outside guests coming in here, and it's just appalling to see the condition that these restrooms were in. Anyway, he says, I'm sorry to hear the restrooms are not up to standard. The restrooms on the golf course are scheduled for regular service by the custodial staff twice a day. Now, I'm not sure I can agree with that. I don't think I've ever seen anybody in there cleaning those restrooms, whether they go in at 5 a.m. or what, I don't know. But it wasn't just the cleanliness, the toilets, the bowls, there's cobwebs in the ceilings, the lights are dirty, the windows are dirty. Anyway, I originally suggested maybe they needed a power washing, but they need some heavy duty maintenance. And so, that's why I'm bringing this now to GAC and see what we might do to rectify this. The other thing that Jeff said, he said that we do not have the staffing and the budget resources to provide additional scheduled service for these restrooms. We never want members to feel compelled to clean restrooms. So that there more.
Well said.
He's on the golf course.
So, yeah, they're all on the golf course. I think the ones you're talking about, which should be
All three.
the ones behind.
One
Yeah,
on 6, the one on 10, and one on 16.
yeah. So, thanks for bringing this to me yesterday. I do have a response from Ann because in the last 12 hours, we've talked a couple of times. So let me read this because this one I got this morning at 8:30.
Oh, good. All right.
8:22 exactly. So here's what Ann said. It would be great if you could send the comments directly to me so I can look at it. So please send that information to her. There was a complaint that came about the tea houses from Robin Monroe. I didn't even tell her it was from you. She knew that it was, that there was something there. I believe Jeff responded to her directly. I can also share info that I'd like you to share at the meeting. Golf course restrooms are notoriously challenging to maintain, primarily due to the vast number of users and due to their location far from clubhouses. We've known there is a deficiency. It was part of the justification to approve an additional custodial position. Similar to the understaffing of golf and other things in Rossmore, a campus of this size and use would need really 6 more custodial staff to do the job that we're asked to do. That's what her studies have shown. We have had 1 additional custodial approved this year. We also have had retirements and promotions. So we now finally have a fully staffed, not 6, but 1 additional person that started on Friday. While not the only assignment for this position, we did make it a priority. This new custodian is assigned to maintain the cleanliness of and perform routine custodial maintenance at the tea houses twice a day and assist with other facility upkeeps, taking on the high traffic restrooms such as Gateway, Oak Room, Creekside, and the event center and MOD. Keep in mind that sometimes it takes new staff a little while to get a lay of the land and the workflow in a place to get maximum efficiency, but we are aware and finally have dedicated staff to the tea houses. And I shared with Robin yesterday, when you and I talked about it, that my own staff has been maintaining bathrooms here because we run out of toilet paper and stuff. And I know Wayne and I and others go in because we have keys and we go get stuff when it's out and we see it now. So
See, the other thing.
we have felt the
there was
pain
no
over the last
soap-
several months.
There was no soap in the restroom apparently there.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do so.
Yeah.
But we get paper towels. I know we've done that. So the point is, we feel the pain too. We've witnessed that and seen that. Now, she's saying they're gonna improve at this point forward. But I would still send your concerns to her.
Okay, I have a copy.
I think they're legitimate. I think it's good that Ted heard this. The board I know has concerns about not only improving facilities or adding facilities, but I think one of the things that's most important is maintaining facilities. We have, over the last 15, 20 years, added tremendous facilities inside Rossmore. The room we're sitting in today didn't exist. Creekside as a whole, Securitas, the maintenance area, Gateway, across the street here, the event center. We have done enormous amounts of work to make Rossmore a better place to live. But with that, it comes maintenance, and so that's part of the thing that I think that Ann has been trying to do since she got here, is gonna get better foothold in what is necessary to keep these facilities up. So I'm sure they'll look at trying to add more. Again, this will be a budget. I'm sure in the budget, as we get to September, when the budget is talked about, I'm sure she will bring this up about how understaffed we are for maintenance. But hopefully you'll see improvement due to her email. So anyway, that's what I got for you.
I got acknowledgement from both Jeff and Ann, so that's great. They're on it. And, I always said, I've had a relationship with Avi because I worked with him before in the past years. Every time we had a tournament, I would always call, send an email, make sure that the restrooms were gonna be in, top-notch condition for our guests coming in from the outside. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much for all that.
Would it be helpful, I'm gonna be addressing the chair of the board. This next meeting, would it be helpful to bring this up again to the new board? Especially since we have new members on the board, to let them become more aware of the issues.
I don't think the states would be in that thing.
I
We
would
think it's sent to me, like saying.
You did?
tend to say it's not bad, but I know that. Here's how I think about it. Ann is
Overloaded.
she she is overloaded. But she's addressed it here. What I would like to see is, let's give them an opportunity to, in this next month with everything going on, the invitationals, let's see how they do. Not that we can't check it and, hey, bring it up again. But let's, with what she's written here, I feel like she's addressed it. Let's see if it's addressed. And if it isn't after that time, because the new board members, they have a lot going on right now. They are trying to get up to speed on much bigger issues than how clean the bathrooms are, to be honest with you. I think I would see how this goes with what we've done here and see if they don't jump on it now because they have the staff.
You know, I appreciate that, Mark, but at the same time, we still have to live. And, putting it off until let's see is the answer all the time. We'll see about it. We'll look into it. Or even with Ann, well, I'm sure she has all good intentions with the new, maintenance person, one, to try to improve the situation, but those bathrooms in a way need more than just one person going in there and making sure that there's paper towels and soap. I mean, as Robin said, so, especially the one over by, the backside of number 1 on Dollar for 7 T-Box. That's a bunker. That bathroom is, it should be torn down and rebuilt.
It's a campground.
It's terrible.
It's a campground.
And it is notoriously filthy. Notoriously, not only with dirt on the floor and water all over the place. As you approach, you walk through water, inside on the floor, there's water. Doesn't have towels a lot of times, and doesn't have soap most of the time. And they are growing spider webs all over the place. I mean, it's just
The entrance to it was always dirty, you know, where you go in the concrete. Of course, I spotted a bird nest in there yesterday too.
So it needs more than an individual going in there and changing the paper towels. That's not the issue at all. I mean, that's part of it, small part. The rest
Yeah,
of it is-
Robin, when you send your stuff to Ann, make sure you mention those other things, the cobwebs,
Yeah.
bird's nest, because I think that does indicate that it's more than just coming in and doing, as Pat just said, indicating the basics.
Right.
It needs really all of them. Like you said, a deep clean versus just a.
Yeah, I think they need to be power washed all.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
one
good.
on 16, I realize is newer, it's a little better condition.
I think those are all valid. I think those are all valid comments and should be included rather than just, you're not saying they don't have the general maintenance. They need more than that. I think that is a valid comment and should be put in there for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
And Pat, you do what you want at the board meeting. That was my feeling. I'm not saying slough it off. I was just saying, you know, she's acknowledged it, said they have the staff now. If we send that email, but if you want to mention, go right ahead.
I have a thought on that. You know, did I understand that they think they're being cleaned twice a day? That there's
That was the comment that I got back from Jeff, yeah.
right. And one thing that you see in some other locations, you'll see a sheet on the wall where who does the cleaning, they sign off on it and say when they were in there and when they did it. And we ought to know within a week whether they're doing anything or not. I mean, now, because the restrooms, you look at it, you take a picture, and then you come back a week later and yes, they're doing it, or no, they're not. I mean, it's either getting done or not. You don't have to wait a month or two.
I think that's a great suggestion, because I've seen it in many places, yeah.
All the laundry rooms have that.
Yeah.
I have a bad feeling that, Jeff's good intentions. Has good intentions, but I think he's out of touch with reality. What happens out there is totally different, maybe what's going on.
Yeah.
So, what he thinks is going on. That'd be a good suggestion, thank you.
Could you send me a copy of Ann's comments to you?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you very much, everyone.
okay, having done that, are, any other topics for consideration in future agendas? Anyone else have anything to add in the future, aside from we're gonna look and see about in 3 months what the golf cart situation is, and hopefully we'll follow up to be sure that this ambulance, is improved. So I'll just add that.
I like the idea of having the sheet, signed, but that needs to come from the higher ups, so either Ann or. Obviously,
It'll probably be an Ollie thing, right, to make sure that happened, yeah.
It's just a subtle way to Holds somebody responsible.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
often see that. And just think where I've seen it recently, but yeah.
Okay, if there's nothing else? Any other issues at all? Okay, not hearing any. Meeting stands adjourned.
And our next meeting is
Next
June,
meeting is June 13th.
okay.
Friday the 13th.
Right, in the 13th.
Oh, God.
You had to say that.
Thank you all.